Thanks for tuning into the Weekly Wrap this Friday, the 6th of November. I'm Jessica Amir, market analyst with Bell Direct. Well, global equities rallied this week as US election results edged closer, pushing uncertainty clouds away, while local equities also rallied because of, one, the New South Wales-Victoria border being set to open in 2 weeks on the 23rd of November, and two, interest rates were cut to a brand new historical low of 0.1%. All these three things helped markets lift 3.6% Monday to Thursday, almost erasing last week's loss. The property or real estate sector up the most, 8%, given property values generally rise in low-rate environments, while tech lifted 7% as low rates support innovation, research and development. Tech also got a bit of a kick following Wall Street as investors there took a view that high taxes won't dent the sector. As for standout stocks, Flight Centre shares soared 23% to a 2-week high, Webjet flying 19% to a 4-week high as Qantas pledged to increase weekly flights from 10 to 250. Elsewhere, Inghams rose 16%, clucking up to a 10-week high on strong poultry demand in the first quarter, while also flagging less feed or wheat costs, but it shaved its dividend payout to preserve capital. Now, given there are many significant events that have occurred this week, it's really important to think about the ramifications for your portfolio. Firstly, as the second busiest flight route in the world is officially reopening, Sydney to Melbourne, it may be worth looking at the travel sector as you'd expect earnings to pick up. Take Qantas, for example. Its share price momentum continues to build and it's up 43% from the beginning of August. Importantly, its 50-day moving average has crossed above its 200-day moving average price. This is a technical trend that signals further share price growth. And once earnings pick up, analysts expect the flying kangaroo shares to rally. Keep in mind, from the 23rd of November, Qantas's capacity will lift from 30 to 40% of its pre-COVID-19 levels. UBS, Morgan Stanley and Macquarie back Qantas as a buy with targets from $4.90 to $5.25. And Flight Centre could be worth a look too. It reported rising demand and healthy liquidity, which is why Bell Potter increased Flight Centre Travel's buy rating and target to $16.50. And check out fly-in, fly-out provider to the mining industry, Alliance Aviation. This is supported by Credit Suisse, Morgans and Ord Minnett as a buy with targets from $4 to $4.15. The second big theme to consider is that lower rates support share market growth. The RBA cut rates to 0.1% and pledged to buy $100 billion of government bonds over the next 6 months while pledging to keep rates low for 3 years. Now, this means investors getting very low returns from, say, term deposits may be somewhat encouraged to invest into equities to pursue higher returns. What's interesting is, of all the 17 years that the RBA cut rates since 1990, 65% of the time the share market was positive. Now, why is that? Well, low rates encourage innovation, consumer spending, business investment and business takeovers also increase. For these reasons, UBS and Morgan Stanley expect money to flow into tech and cyclicals. Now, thirdly, consider exposure to stocks leveraged to China. The Chinese government has allegedly banned $6 billion of Aussie commodity imports from Friday, including coal, copper ore, copper concentrate, barley, timber, wine and lobster. Now, the question is, could milk products be banned next? What about iron ore and lithium? Well, Morgan Stanley thinks investors can't rule out China banning iron ore and lithium, but don't expect this now, as our products are of high quality and it will probably be too hard for China to find an alternative in the short to medium term. So for now, keep a close eye on China-linked stocks such as Treasury Wine Estates, A2 Milk and Bubs Australia, as they're carrying somewhat heightened levels of risk. So there's plenty to sink your teeth into this week. Tune in next week and we'll talk about asset allocation for 2021. And hopefully on Monday, we'll have an election result. From all of us here at Bell Direct, have a happy and safe weekend. Bye for now.